What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 180 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Today, I want to talk to you about The Demon from the Darkness by Matt Wagner and Art Nichols. This was a 4-issue miniseries from the late 80s, and then there's one issue here from the 90s Demon series that's also by Matt Wagner. It's like issue 22, I think, and it doesn't have anything to do with the 4-issue miniseries, but since it's by the same guy who wrote and drew this series, they collected it here. This book is one of the most boring comics that I have ever read in my life, and I hate to say that because I'm a huge fan of Matt Wagner. I like the character and concept of the Demon, so I thought that this would be a home run, and it's not. First, let me go ahead and talk about the stuff that I like. Matt Wagner's art. It's very good. It's always very good. I really like the cartoonish nature of his style, but at the same time, it's still very tonally off-putting. This is a very dark and bleak book. There's some really gross, disturbing stuff that happens here, and at the same time, he draws these characters in a very cartoonish style. You could very easily see this style at use in a newspaper comic or something like that. Maybe you could see it with a little bit more cleaning up. You could see this in an actual cartoon series, but at the same time, it doesn't feel kiddie. It's very mature, and I like that. I like the dissonance there. Really, really awesome, and that's something that you could say about Matt Wagner's art a lot of the time. Now, let me talk about everything that I did not like about this book. So, the 4-issue miniseries here is really a pretty simple plot. You've got Jason Blood, who is the human vessel for the demon Etrigan, and he and this girl, Glinda, they are trying to find a way to separate Jason Blood from Etrigan. And basically, the 4-issue miniseries is just a series of false starts in their attempt to do this. First, they're looking for a book, and then that book gets burnt up, and then they have to go and find another version of that book, and then they read that book and it doesn't make any sense, and then the girl gets kidnapped by a demon, and so then Jason has to summon another demon, and then he has to make a trade, and then they have to go and they release Merlin, and then they get tricked, and basically everything that happens here is, okay, we're almost there, except we know that we're not almost there because this is a 4-issue miniseries and they're not going to accomplish their goal in issue 2. So we know that they're not going to officially do whatever it is that they're wanting to do until the end of issue 4. Also, this is a quest, but I don't feel like this is much of a story. You look at, say, Star Wars. Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is on a quest to rescue the princess, and then after that's accomplished, destroy the Death Star. He is being stopped, or attempting to be stopped, by the Empire. They are at cross purposes with him, because if he rescues the princess, then he will know how to destroy the Death Star. So they are trying to stop him, and there's a conflict there. Conflict is what creates stories. You look at The Princess Bride. Wesley is trying to rescue the princess, and he is trying to be stopped by Prince Humperdinck, who wants to marry and then kill the princess. They are operating at cross purposes. There's conflict there. Any great story, there is going to be conflict. In this book, Etrigan and Jason Blood and this girl Glinda, they are on a quest, but I don't really see there being any conflict here. At the very end of the book, we find out that Jason and Glinda have been bamboozled, but before that, there's not really any conflict. At one point, Belial, he is another demon in this book, who doesn't really do a whole lot of anything. He kidnaps this girl, and I'm not really sure why. A couple of different times he sends demons to fight Jason and Glinda, and I have no idea why he's doing that. I don't know what his motives are. I don't know why he's trying to stop them from doing what he's doing. At the end of the book, we find out a little bit of backstory on Etrigan, which I like, and I don't know if that's backstory that was actually present in the Jack Kirby series from the 70s. I haven't actually read the Jack Kirby series from the 70s, but I don't think that there's enough of a story here to actually warrant this being a thing that exists at all. There's some neat stuff here. We get to see the characters going on a quest, which is part of what makes the story. We get to see a neat little twist at the end of the book, but there's not enough conflict here to warrant calling this a story. Now, the other issue that's here, issue 22 from the 1990 series, I really like that issue quite a bit. There's a conflict there. We get our character, he's pulled into something that he didn't want to be part of, and then he has to participate because some witches, they're at war with each other, and one of them has bound him to her will. There's a conflict there. There's an actual story present in that issue, and I wish that Matt Wagner could have done something like that in the miniseries. Basically, this 4-issue miniseries, it feels to me like Wagner was trying to create a new status quo for Etrigan the Demon, and he does that by the end of this miniseries, but he doesn't actually tell us a story along the way. And that's unfortunate because I'm still a big fan of Matt Wagner, and I still like the character and concept of Etrigan the Demon. Unfortunately, this, I'm going to have to say, if you're interested in the Demon and you like Matt Wagner, give this book a skip. It's not worth your time. I don't think that there's very much in it that's very good beyond the art. I think that the art is very good, and I think that Matt Wagner is a good storyteller. I'm just thinking maybe he was having an off day whenever he wrote and drew this. I don't know. But this, unfortunately, did not work for me. I did not think that it was very good. So those are my thoughts on Matt Wagner's The Demon from the Darkness. I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.